it's so much fun. There's no reason that this wonderful feeling of being beautiful and at one with the music, it's not just reserved for professionals who have perfect turnout and awesome flexibility, because that's not me. But I still love it, and it's such a wonderful feeling. So come on over and join us.
Hey dancers, welcome to the show. I'm Julie, and I'm your host today on this episode of Broche Banter. I both own and teach at Broche Ballet, a virtual ballet school just for adults. Join us as we explore all things adult ballet. Today on the show, I chat with Harmony, who recently achieved her goal of her first pair of pointe shoes before her upcoming 50th birthday. We talk about her absolute undying love of ballet, what it was like for her to take her very first ballet class a little over a year ago, and why she thinks anyone with dreams of ballet should just get started and hop right in with us. Follow Harmony's story on Instagram at ballet_harmony. Enjoy! Welcome to the show, Harmony. I'm so excited to have you on this week to talk about your story with ballet. Thanks for being here.
I'm thrilled to be here with you. Thank you so much for asking me. This will be fun.
So we met, I don't know how long I've been following you on Instagram, probably since the beginning of your ballet journey because you post such fun stuff. And then we really got to know each other over this lockdown situation when you were dancing all the time, and we share a love for Peloton. We share a love for the Peloton instructors, the whole Peloton family. And now you got on pointe with me for the first time. We got your first pair of pointe shoes. Now you're all up on pointe doing all this fun stuff. So we've really come to get to know each other this year. And I'm excited to actually get to hear your story and sit down and actually listen to how it all started.
Okay, where do you want me to start?
Okay, let's start with ballet. So you started ballet very recently, is that true?
I started last year. Let's see, in the spring, I guess I stumbled upon adult ballet videos, and I was just like, what? How long has this been a thing? Because I was one of those little girls who was just obsessed with ballet, with like seeing ballerinas and male ballet dancers and just thinking they were all the most gorgeous things I'd ever seen. I remember even loving their athleticism, that you could see their muscles, their costumes, of course, tiaras and tutus and all that stuff. But I never had a chance to take ballet. And honestly, I was thinking about this earlier because I thought you'd ask. I don't even remember knowing that little girls took ballet. That just wasn't in my universe growing up. So I didn't do that. But I stumbled upon videos last year, early 2019, and started gently, taking some classes. And I'm sure there were a million of your videos that I followed as well during that time. And I was trying to get the nerve up to take a live ballet class. And that's super intimidating because you can fake some things, but you cannot fake going to your first ballet class because I didn't know anything. I didn't know if you walked in and you were assigned a place at the bar or anything. So anyway, we were on a trip to Alaska, and my husband and I, to celebrate our 10-year anniversary, and we stopped in Vancouver afterwards. And looking back, that was one of the greatest things because we met my mom and stepdad in Vancouver for a couple of days. It was Canada Day weekend, and there was they have a wonderful ballet studio there. It's called Ballet Lounge. And that was my first, I finagled it so we would take ballet together, my husband and me, my very first ballet class in person, June 30th, 2019. And it was super fun. I just loved everything about it, and came back to Sarasota and finally got the nerve up to go to Sarasota Ballet, the Sarasota Ballet's ballet school in their adult program. So yeah, that's how it all started.
I have so many questions. What is there not to ask about that, story? Okay, so first of all, you took your first ballet class on vacation, and second of all, you brought your husband to it. You made your husband take ballet with you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I have the kind of husband who is game for anything. He's fantastic. He's super supportive. So he didn't even bat an eyelash.
Oh my gosh.
And I was trying to tell him, there'll be other guys there, there'll be other people our age there. not really. Vancouver's a very young city, so I know it was all females, and almost everybody looked like they were in their 20s, and some of them were really good. You know how it is when you go to adult ballet classes, you sort of get a whole range. But yeah, it was really fun. And on our cruise, I practiced every day in the cabin on our cruise ship, and like I wanted to be ready. And this is how little I knew. When I got there, the check-in lady looked at my ballet slippers, and she was like, I guess those will do. They were like huge on me. I didn't even know how they were supposed to fit. But, you know, I had a bun-in and I had a black leotard, and I was like, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Oh my gosh, that's
and I have not looked back.
Oh man. Okay, so you show up at a ballet class with perhaps clown-sized ballet slippers and your husband. Yep. And does he know anything about ballet at this point? Has he been practicing with
Nothing.
You? Okay, so you didn't even give him a crash course. You prepared, and then you just threw him into the bed.
He didn't. And like, I was exposed to ballet as a child. It was actually in pop culture a lot. There were some famous ballet dancers on TV. I think some were on the Muppet Show once in a while. You know, there was ballet in movies. He really had not been exposed to ballet much at all. And now I have a bar and a dance floor. I didn't have anything like that. So no, he went in with no understanding of it at all. And you know, he's almost 6'8", and it was, looking back, I'm sure people were like, oh my God, get a load of these two. Like, they don't know what they're doing. But we tried and we had a great time, you know, and that's the thing about ballet. If you can relax into it, you can feel like you're expressing yourself in the music, you know, even in the most simple exercises. So I think secretly he really, really enjoyed it. But it was a fun day. And it was nice to have him there because he took pictures. Like, it was documented. I have pictures. My very first ballet pictures on my Instagram are of that day.
Oh,
you know, it's nice that we have it. So anyway, that's how it started. About a year and a half ago was my first class.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Is that so? Okay, so you posted on Instagram that you guys did my 500 releve challenge together. Is that why he has ballet slippers? He
has ballet slippers because he does do a little ballet with me nowadays. Once in a while. Oh gosh, I don't want to make it sound like it's even regular, but once in a while, like if I'm doing an exercise and the music has a good beat and it's an easy tendu exercise, or like we do Madame Olga's dégagé and swan arms exercise. We do that together. So yeah, once in a while he does do some exercises with me. And if you do any ballet ever, it's better to have ballet slippers than anything else. So, you know, when I saw they were in his size, I was like, yep, click, bye. So
oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. That's hilarious and awesome. I mean, I think ballet is great for everyone, and he's a runner too, so it's great for anyone to develop that level of muscle control and body awareness and everything you learn in ballet. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and he has great respect for it too. You know, he's a very strong ultra athlete, but he looks at what I do and he's like, holy cow, how do you guys do that? Like, ballet dancers are amazing.
Like, you put your feet where?
He respects everything we do, which is nice.
So you took that first class. Have you just basically been going ever since then?
So, okay, I started last summer in Sarasota, so summer 2019, and I was working. And, you know, the pandemic has changed a lot. The biggest change for me is that I'm not working. And the last 5 years before the pandemic started, and we'll never go back to this, but my husband and I would work frequently, regularly, 17, 18, 19, 20 days in a row. Mm-hmm. So, and that's just not healthy, but there are times in your life when you want to do that for whatever reason. So anyway, that's over, but I was working so much that I really only got to the studio once or twice a week, maybe once in a blue moon, 3 times a week. And I was taking like absolute beginner, level 1, and I would dip my toe into level 2 once in a while. Once the pandemic started, and we had like a big 2-week shutdown here, we thought it was going to help a lot. You know, it didn't help enough, unfortunately, but it was a major shutdown here. I thought, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to find ballet classes online, and I'm going to take like a full class every single day. And then maybe when I go back to the studio, I won't be like so nervous about the combinations because I could never really get the combination. I was always watching other people or thinking about it so much. And it was so frustrating because I felt like I couldn't really dance because I didn't grow up with learning choreography, and it's tricky if you haven't done it. Yeah. So that was my goal, to get to where I could just go to ballet class and not worry so much about the combination at the bar, in the center, you know, everything. And for me, our shutdown lasted much longer. I'm no longer working, and I don't even know when it was, but I do remember saying to my husband one day, like, "Hey, guess what? I don't even worry about the combination anymore. Like, I can pick it up." So if anybody out there is struggling, any adult ballet dancers, I really was awful at learning combinations. Like, I would have to be in back of somebody at the bar and not at the end, because then when we turn around, like, I wouldn't have anybody. And if you practice enough, it does come naturally. So that's been just wonderful, because I do feel like I can start dancing right at the beginning of class. And that's not to say I don't mess up. Like, you see me mess up, but it's usually because my mind has wandered, not because it was too tricky for me. So It does come with time and practice.
Isn't it a funny phrase in ballet? If you, like, it's what you just said. If you practice enough, it comes naturally. I think that people often hear the last part, "it comes naturally," and forget the first part, "if you practice enough," because it's true. If you practice enough, it does come naturally. But naturally is such a funny word, because it's natural only because you practiced it so much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting.
I put in a lot of hours. I mean, there hasn't been a day since the second week of March that I haven't been in my ballet slippers for at least 2 hours. So, but you know, my husband works a lot. He's an essential worker, so he works a lot. He works nights. He sleeps during the day. My children are grown and gone. You know, there's only so much cleaning and cooking you can do. So I just jumped all in, and it's really been wonderful. I mean, not to diminish the suffering going on in the world, but for me, the pandemic has been really a wonderful time here in my little home studio, in my house.
Yeah. And I think, as you said, you know, when you're working so much and you're kind of forgetting the things that life is about, this has been a reminder for many about taking it down a notch and really remembering what the little things are about, and remembering the joy of definitely doing something for you. Yeah,
it's been a real eye-opener for us. And like I said, there are times in your life you want to do that work a lot, but like my husband never does that anymore. He's still working, but we just said no to the 2 weeks in a row without a break. It's ridiculous. It's not good for anybody, you know. Right. So
a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of time dancing. That's amazing. Do you feel like you need motivation, or is it just easy to put on your slippers every day?
No.
Or no motivation needed. You just love it and you want to dance all the time.
Oh my God. So don't make me cry. It's like, I'm so in love with ballet. It's such a gift to be able to do it, and really to be a part of your online studio it's the best thing in the world. Like, I go to bed at night thinking, we have a Peloton, you know about Peloton. So I go to bed at night thinking about my Peloton workout the next day, because I'm always really excited, and thinking about what my ballet schedule is. And like, if I have a shorter class with you, then I'm already sort of scheming what other class I'm going to take, or I don't need motivation for it. I love it. I love every single part of it. I love it when it's challenging. I love it when it's easy. I love it when I know the music. I love it when I don't know the music. I just love everything about it.
I love it. I obviously feel the same way about ballet, because I'm obsessed with it. And, you know, we love all the outfits and, you know, having fun with all of it. Is there anything in your life that you do feel like you need that motivation for, that you have to push yourself to get up and do?
Well, I mean, not really. Cleaning's not my favorite, okay? But when it comes to athletic stuff, because I've been an athlete like my whole life, so that's almost like brushing my teeth. You know, I wake up and I run, or I wake up and I go for a really long power walk, and I do my weights, and ballet's just sort of folded its way into that routine. And I love being physically active. So I don't struggle with that. Of course, I do have bad days, like we all do, but I've learned that even on my worst, like, and no matter how bad I'm feeling, I'm going to feel better if I go for that run, or if I jump on the bike, if I do some yoga, if I take my ballet class. You're never going to get through that and think, oh God, why did I do that? Now I'm really miserable. You're going to feel like, yeah, okay, that's progress. The day's getting better. I did something.
Yeah, so, it's true. What would be a bad day? Like, what would it, is that just like not in the mood, like not feeling so great? What would be a bad day for you? Where you'd have to,
I guess if I haven't slept enough, that's really the only thing, but that's been going really well, because the more you move, the more tired you are. There are nights when, and my husband's very active as well. There are nights we're sitting on the sofa at like 7:05 and we're like, are you ready for bed? Because I am. And we sort of walk to the bedroom like zombies. We're so exhausted. So that's a good thing about being physically active as well. You're sort of spent at the end of the day and can have a good deep sleep.
Yeah, I hear you on that for sure. The more, if you need to sleep, just exercise a lot and it's easy.
Yeah.
Sleep is no problem.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have dreams with your ballet journey, or is the journey the dream?
Julie, my dream was to go on Pointe, and you helped me get there. Like, I still can't even believe it. And it's hard to make goals because I don't really know what I am capable of. Like, when I first got my Pointe shoes, which was just a few months ago, maybe less than 2 months ago, I felt like I couldn't do anything. I mean, they feel like bricks on your feet, basically. And you're like, I'm not making any goals because I can't even stand in them. But as they get broken in and as you get more used to the feelings, I don't know. I'm just happy to be on Pointe. And my goal is to just keep progressing as long as I can. But, one thing people who come to ballet later in life have to realize, most of us have some kind of limitations. And I certainly do. I think I was in a car accident when I was about 12. So I have a lot of asymmetry in my legs and feet and ankles, and the strength is different. And, it's just not the same as starting ballet when you're 3 and putting your leg up here and being super pliable. But I'm going to work with what I have. And as long as you don't let those limitations get you upset, you can still progress or, maintain. Sometimes maintaining is good. Sometimes that's fine. So I just want to keep working on it and keep having that feeling of, being sort of one with the music.
Well, and I think part of the thing with kids is that they just have so much time. Like, a life of a child has way more time than the life of an adult. The life of a child has 3 to 5 hours to dedicate to ballet every day, whereas we need a pandemic to happen for us to have 3 to 5 hours to dedicate every single day. So I think that does make a big difference with the kids' progress as well. Yes, they do have more pliable bodies for sure, but they also just have just a ton of time. Yeah,
you're right. You're definitely right. But the flexibility, I would do anything to go back in life and practice the splits from age 3, because it's really, you see me, I do my best, and there are parts of me that are flexible, but others just aren't, and you just have to keep working on it and hope that you can maintain it. That's an example of maybe maintaining, maybe not getting too much better. But when I'm stretching, I always think, well, yeah, I'm stiff as a board, but think if I didn't stretch, yes. how would I be? So then I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay.
Definitely. Taking that time off of stretching is really painful.
No, I stretch every day. Like, are you kidding? All the work I've put into stretching, if I stop, I don't want to lose any of it. I don't want to lose a millimeter. So yeah, I'm pretty adamant about stretching every day.
So you have a really, you seem to have a really positive outlook on your life and on your capabilities and on working hard and kind of believing in that capability. How did you come to that? What led you here? It doesn't happen by accident. It generally happens through, challenges or working through something. How did you come to this, or have you been like this as long as you can remember?
I guess I haven't really cowered at challenges. And I don't know why. I think, my parents weren't perfect, but my mom she definitely gave me confidence, as moms can do. And my mom's still around. I talk to her every day, but she still makes me feel like, the most gifted child. And I'm not, but I think that's a really important thing that, it's a very powerful thing that that parents can give to children. And I tried to do that with my own as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my mom definitely gave me confidence, and the adult ballet community is so welcoming for the most part. It's just so welcoming. I would say to anybody out there who's considering it a little bit, come on in. It's so much fun and we are ballet dancers. We have every right to call ourselves that, not to take away from professional ballet dancers who, of course, I obsess over, and I love them and I just adore looking at them. But, like my neighbor plays tennis once a week and he's a tennis player. Mm-hmm. So we're ballet dancers. Right. And I love that about the adult ballet community, how we're super inclusive. Like, whatever you look like, you have a body, that's a ballet body. Come on in. We can all work together and figure something out that's going to be beautiful. And I love that. So that hasn't been a challenge for me. Once I opened the door and saw what was going on, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm in there, all in.
Well, you make some really good points around, not cowering against challenges, right? So you see a challenge and you go after it. And I mean, also totally different topic on terms of the adult ballet, where it's like very accepted for someone who runs a lot to call themselves a runner, for someone who cycles a lot to call them a cyclist. You see people out there on the road with the cycling outfit, the whole thing, and you're not like, oh, that person's not a cycler. You see them in the outfit and you see them on the side of the road at 6 a.m. on a Sunday, and you're like, that's a cycler. Like, they're putting in the work, they're doing the work.
Exactly.
And it's just a little bit different when it's such a, I don't know, for whatever reason, ballet has a little different of a stigma to it, let's say.
And I don't know why that is. I guess, you probably feel the same as me. Professional ballet dancers, they are special.
Totally. Oh my God.
They're the most special, the most special humans in the world. So maybe that's why, because there's sort of a bigger, gulf between us. I don't know, but I call myself a ballet dancer, a ballerina. When I was just at the doctor for my foot, I told her I'm a ballet dancer. I'm on Pointe. So can I continue? She was like, oh yeah. So I think we maybe sometimes are more self-conscious about saying it than, I say it to people and nobody's ever been like, really? Like, what company do you dance for? They're just like, wow, that's cool. So we need to embrace that.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, where the question is who said you weren't?
Yeah.
If it was just you who said you weren't, then you can tell that voice to be quiet, because that's your own voice.
Exactly. But, if you're doing something every day, and think about how much you spend on ballet. I mean, we're definitely ballet dancers. So, and that's been a real thrill to see myself with, as a ballet dancer. It's been such a dream come true. I love it.
It's so magical. I think ballet has a certain magic about it that other types of sports don't have. Like, it is super cool to watch someone run a marathon in 3 hours or whatever, because you're just like, how is that even possible? But it doesn't quite have the same magical effect, I think, as ballet has on people.
No, because to somebody who doesn't dance ballet, like when I used to watch ballet before I started taking it, literally every single thing looks like a trick. Like, how they do that? How do they, I just want to do that one step, and you try it and you realize it's almost superhuman. Yeah. So it's been fun to learn, how it's all put together and the steps to get to that strength or flexibility or musicality.
Right. Pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun to be on the other side.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. Like, everyone gets it that if you ran a lot, you'd probably get really good at running, but it is, because it is kind of a natural activity. It's not natural to be that level of it, but it's a rather natural activity.
Yeah, exactly. And I have read that, and it is true. Like, nothing about ballet is natural, I don't think. The way we try to contort our bodies.
No.
but somehow we do it and we come back for more.
It's so funny. Sometimes beginners will come in and I'm teaching them something, like let's say a passe or something. And they're like, why can't I do it? I should be able to do this already. And I'm like, why? Why should you be able to do this? I'm asking you to do something crazy. Why do you believe that you should be able to put your leg in this position naturally? Because it's not natural.
It's not natural. And then on top of that, we see professional dancers doing it, and they make it look so easy. Like that's their job. They just look relaxed and, no big deal at all. But it's all hard. Every part of it is hard.
And we have to smile while we're doing it.
Yes, and I do. It's wonderful.
Fun. It is. So you and I have also connected on the topic of mindfulness and meditation a little bit, because I've recently gotten into it. And if you guys listened to the podcast a couple of episodes ago, we talked with Tom and his journey with mindfulness as well. Tell me a little bit about your journey with meditation and kind of what did you do?
When I think I told you the story, when I was about 15, I was living on my own and I was always broke, and there was a Hare Krishna house near where I lived, and they would give you a free meal if you came to their house and meditated and chanted with them. Now, I really don't know much about Hare Krishnas. I don't really see them around anymore. I can tell you they were lovely, lovely people, and they made beautiful meals. So I would go weekly, and it was fun. I mean, we'd meditate and then we'd chant. Somebody would play a drum and we'd chant the Hare Krishna song, I guess, whatever it is, and then we'd eat. And I noticed that I just felt so good afterwards. It's a way of sort of emptying your mind. And I learned it from them. And then I spent some time in India when I was 18, and of course was enchanted with all the stuff going on there, and Hinduism and the people meditating. And I've been doing it ever since. There are times when I've done more, longer sessions. Now I pretty much stick to the 10-minute meditations daily, but I love it. And the more what I found is the more often you do it, the more regularly, the better it is, because you can, just like that, you can be back in that mindset, which is relaxed, just letting your thoughts flow across your brain, not worrying about it. And so it definitely is for me, it's part of being healthy, mentally healthy, and I do love it. So
do you find, so you've been an athlete as well, do you find that it's helpful in your athletic endeavors as well to have that meditation mindset? Is it similar in any way, helpful, complementary?
Well, when I was competing, so I was a competitive runner for a couple years back in the day. I used visualization more than meditation for my running. So that's when sports psychology was sort of just coming to the forefront, and I was super interested in it. But certainly when you're training hard and you have a life on top of that, meditation just helps you balance it all, reset yourself, so you're ready for, whatever you're doing next. So I didn't really use it for running, but just, I've always been super busy, and that was always something I could come to and know. Reset is a good word, actually. It is sort of like a reset. I don't know if you find that when you do it, but whatever else is going on in your mind, I got to do this. I got to call this person. I have 4 appointments tomorrow. I got to take care of my kids. How am I going to pay for this? Meditation sort of just smooths all that out. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, man. Just breathe. And when you do that every day, it makes a big difference on not just that part of your day, but the whole rest of your day. Because you know that feeling is accessible whenever you need it, as long as you have time to sit and be with yourself and with your thoughts, you can do it. And it makes your whole life better, I think.
Well, and the ironic thing is, you said if you have time, but the thing is, if you're that stressed and you take 10 minutes off to meditate, you will be more productive after those 10 minutes.
Exactly.
You had just floundered around and not taken the time. I find that with myself if I feel like I have too many things to do, or I'm like, you're just like buzzing around, not sure which task is the most important to start on. And then it's like, all right, let's start on none of these. Take a sec, go meditate, and then come back and start with a fresh mind. That's kind of that's how I currently use meditation. I probably doing it more often and regularly like you do would be beneficial to do as well. But currently I use it when I just feel my mind getting out of hand and I'm like, all right, let's just take this down a notch, take all this down and then come back fresh.
Yeah. Well, whatever works, and everybody's different. And I did really enjoy Tom's interview. He had so many great things to say about mindfulness, and he taught me a lot, actually. So even though I've been doing it forever, I'm not an expert. I know that it makes me feel good, but it's a great thing. If you can figure out how to insert that into your daily routine, I think it's really beneficial. And with the pandemic, I'm sure it's helped me just stay, centered, because my family's in 6 countries. I've had some tragedy in my life in the last year, and if you can come back to that feeling of, just thinking about what's important, cherishing others, whatever that is for you, feeling connected to every living being on the planet, or just emptying your mind, it does help make your life better, and it can help you cope. So we've just had a rough year, everybody, but that's a bit of a comfort to me that we're all in it together too. And thinking about that does help. I'm not the only one. We're just 2020 has not been the best.
No, right. And I think everyone's going to come out of it with new coping skills, right? I think
yes.
I was thinking about, as I kind of been reflecting this year on my journey and all of that, you think about how you develop confidence and how you develop self-esteem and how you develop a thick skin. It's not by having everything go well, right? It's like that's not the time when you're developing it. It's when your back is against the wall and you really need it that you actually learn and develop it. It's not like you don't learn this stuff when you're just like having a great day. That's not when you learn it. No,
you are so right. We can learn from every lesson, and I think 2020 has taught everybody a lot of lessons, as long as we're open to hearing them. But yeah, our lives will never be the way they were. And we have to get ready for the new normal. And that's another thing that we'll have to cope with, adapting, because we don't know really what that looks like.
Right.
So, but, as long as I can move my body, take my ballet classes, meditate, sleep well, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's what's gotten me through the last 8 months.
I think it teaches you what's important in life because, it teaches you that those are the things that matter, that you have food on the table, that you have a roof over your head, that you have your health, that you have your body and your family, and anything else was just icing on the cake that we had the wonderful ability to have in the past. And hopefully we'll have some of those things again, but we know now what matters. We know now what matters because everything else has been taken away in a sense.
Definitely. Yeah. And another thing that's helped me through the pandemic is just having sort of a schedule every day. And I have heard from other people that that's helped because, one day, every day feels like the day before. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be easy to sort of just watch Netflix for 8 hours straight. I mean, why not? There's nothing going on really for a lot of us. But having a schedule has helped. So ballet's been a big part of that too, because it takes time. It's not something you can't just do a bar in 5 minutes. Like it's a chunk of time you need you need to pencil it in. So that's helped. Well,
I remember the first time I lost a family member, my grandmother had passed away. I was in my early 20s, and all of the older people in my life all told me, just keep busy. That was like the number one thing that they kept saying was just like, keep busy, make sure you're busy, make sure you're doing stuff. And that then you'll be able to process it later when you're feeling better, or like, just stay busy for right now. That was always the advice.
Yeah, I think that's true. Because even for people who haven't lost a loved one recently, it's hard to think about the numbers of, what's going on. It's mind boggling. So yes, learn what's going on, be aware, but keep yourself busy so that you're healthy and you're being productive and not just wallowing in it all day. But you know what? I will never stop dancing at home. I mean, why weren't we all doing this before? But you see my cute studio? Like it's so easy. This was the guest room. Just move furniture aside and turn on the computer and take a class. It's been so great. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that same way. I mean, so many professional dancers were taking their company class online. Why not?
Right.
You know, you can't do everything at home. I do miss the big corner to corner, you know, not that I was ever very good at that, but I'll be even worse when we go back. But I will never stop dancing at home because it's too easy. You can roll out of bed and do it. It's
That's
great.
right. Yeah, it's funny. In many ways, being at home is for me very natural with ballet because I've been doing it at home forever since I started ballet. When I was a kid, when I was 17, when I started, I like got rid of my bed and got a smaller bed and like put a little thing.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I didn't know what I was doing. I have no idea what I did.
Who needs a big bed?
I know. I was like, we don't need this bed. It's let's get a smaller one so I can have the space. And then nice. I did the same stepladder for the whole time that I lived in New York.
I love your stepladder. It's so cute.
It's like my bar, like it's my trusty bar. I've been using it since the beginning of time because a lot of times in New York, like, you know, it takes about an hour to commute to ballet class. So, you know, you go an hour commute and then you have ballet for an hour and a half and then you have an hour commute back and that's your entire day.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
You know, you can't quite make it and just always dancing at home. So I'm like, man, I wish I had all these classes to take at home all that time ago.
Yeah, it's a new world, definitely. But yeah, I love your bar, and I'm so impressed by the bars that people are using. I mean, basically any counter, any windowsill, any balcony railing. Some people's laundry drying racks. That's the one that impresses me the most.
So funny.
Hats off to the people we know who use the drying racks.
I thought
it's fantastic.
Doorknob.
Yeah, the doorknob. I love it. But it works, you know, as long as it's stable enough, it works. So I love seeing how creative everybody has been.
Totally.
Yeah, because I know I'm lucky I have a spare room and not everybody does. And my goodness, they're doing it anyway. They're figuring it out, man. I love it.
Totally. A lot of people in their kids' room because the kids have the small beds. A lot of people in the kids' room. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's been fun to see.
I want to ask you one last question, which I always ask everyone at the end. If you have any words of advice for people in your boat, let's say either thinking back to like Harmony and her husband of the past going to that first ballet class, or people kind of looking ahead to their ballet journey and goals, what last words would you want to give out to your fellow dancers or student dancers?
Okay, like I said, if you're out there thinking of joining adult ballet classes somewhere, an online studio, an in-person studio, just do it. Yes, it is going to be maybe awkward at first. Like for me, I mean, I had so many mortifying moments in the first few classes. And then Julie, once I took a class that was like a level up and I wasn't ready. And, you know, I cried in the car actually after that. But it doesn't matter. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and it's so much fun. There's no reason that this wonderful feeling of being beautiful and at one with the music, it's not just reserved for professionals who have perfect turnout and awesome flexibility, you know, because that's not me. You know, that's not me. But I still love it, and it's such a wonderful feeling. So come on over and join us. We will be super nice to you, and we will celebrate everything you do. And I wanted to tell you, I don't know if you know, when I went to my local dance store for my Pointe shoes, the people there made me feel like this was the biggest accomplishment anybody had ever, you know, accomplished. It was so nice to see, because, you know, most of you watching know that most people who go on Pointe are like 12 or 13, right, Julie? Like, how old are people when they go on Pointe?
Yeah, 13, 12, 13, 14, something along those lines.
And here I was trying to do it by my 50th birthday, and they just made me feel like it was the most wonderful thing that had ever happened. And it was awesome. So you can have those magical moments too. We didn't really miss the boat. And there's a big benefit of being an adult learner in ballet, and it's, you know, we don't have the pressure that professional ballet dancers have. And, you know, my heart goes out to them. That's not always the easiest life. That's that's a lot of, not damage to your body, but they're really hard on their bodies, and they have a lot of pressure to find the right job. And we don't have that. Like, this is fun. This can be what you want it to be. Whether it's joining an online studio, an in-person studio, or just following YouTube videos by yourself, this can be whatever we want to make it, and it's not dictated by anybody else. So definitely come on over. We would love to have you in our community.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I think you're so right on all of it. It's super special as an adult. I don't think we missed any boat. I think we got on the boat at the exact right time in our life, when we were ready for it.
Yeah.
When we had the time for it, when we had the space for it, when we had the mindset for it. I think we all got on the boat at the exact right time in our life. It's never too late to do anything that you had in mind. I mean, adult life is very long. So just get on the boat whenever, and then there's still the rest of the journey in front of you to go.
Yeah, lots to look forward to.
Well, thank you so much, Harmony, for being on the show today. What fun to chat with you about how much fun you have dancing. It's so much fun to be a part of your journey and to be able to share this podcast episode with you.
Thank you, Julie. It was super fun being here with you. I've seen you online forever, so every chance I have to talk to you, it's just like talking to an old friend. So it was really fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening today, dancers. For more adult ballet, you can follow our studio on Instagram and Facebook at Broche Ballet. You can follow me on Instagram at Julie the Ballerina, or check out our blog and YouTube channels for more content. You can even dance with us in our online studio with daily live Zoom classes and our on-demand video library. Don't forget to have your story featured on our podcast. Email us at hello@brocheballet.com. I'm Julie Gill, and this was Broche Banter. Happy dancing!